Hey guys, David here. In this video I'm going to talk about Zwift and make it more realistic and immersive using rocker plates. If you already use Zwift, you know that it's very immersive and realistic already. Riding around Pojvpq and London and Richmond is as immersive as it gets compared to the old days of riding a turbo trainer and staring at the kitchen wall. It's about as realistic as it gets from not being outside. Last year, Wahoo, makers of the Kicker smart trainer, one of the smart trainers that really revolutionised the whole indoor training trend, they launched a climb accessory, replaces the front wheel and simply raises and lowers the front wheel to match a gradient they're riding on Zwift. The idea is to make it even more immersive and realistic than it already was. And to be honest, I thought it was a bit of a gimmick. I didn't think there's really a market for an expensive addition to what is already an expensive setup to make it even more realistic. I mean, I thought it was realistic enough riding around Pojvpq as it was, but it turns out there is an appetite for making the whole experience more realistic and akin to riding outside, which is where rocker plates come in, which are these two wooden platforms I have here underneath the bike. So these have really sprung up on the underground community that's grown up around Zwift. If you've done any Zwifting or done any racing or had any problems with Zwift, then you know that it's a lively community of forums of very helpful people kind of really come together around the races and troubleshooting and Q&As and so on. I wasn't aware of the rocker plate revolution that's happening in Zwift until my friend Chris told me all about it. And this is actually his setup. He built this himself using his very impressive DIY skills. And he went on a business trip recently and let me borrow it for a week just so I could try it out for myself. Now, as you know, most smart trainers like this Wahoo Kicker hold the bike in a static, fixed position. They don't allow the bike to move around at all, side to side. Riding outside on a real world situation, the bike does move around a lot, especially on a climb where you get a lot of sideways movement. There's only one trainer on the market, the Kinetic, which does allow the bike to move around, but most, like this Wahoo Kicker, are fixed. This is where these rocker plates come in, and they're designed to allow the bike to tilt from side to side to emulate that real world riding experience. So having a bit of a look around the online community for rocker plates, it turns out there are loads of different solutions. It's really interesting how people are coming together and building their own, sharing what they found and sharing their designs, and there are some really detailed designs and plans you can follow to build your own solution. They're not all the same. Some are very complex, some have leaf springs in them, some are very basic and use tennis balls. This one looks very simple, but it's actually quite a complex design. I'll just run you through it. Sandwiched between the two thick planks of wood is a central pivoting shaft along the centre there, and on either side are two air-filled exercise balls. So the pivoting shaft controls the tilting, while the exercise balls just provide the amount of movement you want. And you can control the amount of movement by deflating or inflating the balls just to provide a softer or harder feel depending on your body weight and that sort of experience you want. There are also these little clips holding the trainer down onto the platform to just secure it in place and make sure it doesn't accidentally slide off when you put down a serious watts. And at the front there's a matching platform just to make sure the front wheel's at the same height as the back wheel. So it's quite a simple device. You're probably looking at a couple of hours of building time depending on your experience and your level of expertise at DIY. So that's a bit of preamble about the rocker plates. I've got to change into some cycling kit. Let me show you what the rocker plates are all about in action. So there we go, a little demonstration of the rocker plates in action. you can really see how it works, can't you? You can see how it tilts from side to side. When I'm just riding along at a steady pace, 150 to 200 watts, it feels okay. It's just moving a little bit, rocking nicely side to side, just like it does in the real world. When you get out of the saddle and you're kind of climbing really hard on some of the bigger, steeper climbs on Pojvpq, for example, it does feel strange at first. It can feel a bit kind of squidgy and spongy to begin with, but you definitely get used to it, and it does make it more immersive and more engaging an experience compared to having the trainer fixed and static on the ground. It also improves comfort a little bit as well. Not hugely in my experience, but I know some people really struggle with numbness down below, because you're sitting on a saddle for a lot longer than you are compared to outside when you've got traffic lights and other reasons to get out of saddle. On a trainer, you don't tend to move around a saddle so much unless you're getting out of saddle and sprinting, and you can get some discomfort. Having the rocker plates allow the bike to tilt around a little bit, does alleviate the pressure build up quite a bit, and it does make it more comfortable, especially towards the end of a longer hour and a half, 2 hour ride, where it's just a bit more manageable, a bit more pleasant for longer rides that some people are doing on Zwift. Although the benefits are definitely appealing of the rocker plates, I'm not totally sold on it myself. Maybe I don't do enough hours on Zwift, or maybe I'm just not into that rocking, tilting movement. I'm quite happy with the trainer being fixed in position, but it's definitely an eye-opening experience, and I can really see these rocker plates becoming a lot more popular. And it'd be interesting to see if any brands like Wahoo with their climb come out with a production-ready rocker plates that you can buy. What has really opened my eyes is this whole idea about making Zwift way more immersive. I usually run a laptop, but I've recently plugged a big TV that I had spare into the laptop, and that bigger screen does make it more immersive, just more engaging. And the rocker plates just take it to another level. Allowing the bike to move around really does make the whole ride experience a lot more enjoyable and a lot more like riding outside, which is a good thing if you're in a part of the world where it's snowing or it's really cold, or just your time crunch and you have to spend a lot of time on a trainer. So anything you can do to make it a bit more enjoyable, a bit less unpleasant than indoor training commonly is, then it's not a bad thing. You can build it yourself. If you've got handy DIY skills, you can put together your own contraption. There are various different methods out there, easy and complex. They can be as advanced or as simple as you want, depending on what you're into. I think it'd be interesting to see if any companies like Wahoo or other trainer companies come out with their own production spec version of what this is. I don't think it'll be too long before we see something like this marketed. How much it costs is unknown, and that's another factor, the cost ramping up on what really is an expensive hobby. You've got the cost of a smart trainer, got the cost of a Zwift subscription, you need a fan. It's an expensive pastime. But if you're really committed to riding indoors and really making the most of your time training, then what cost to put on that really? So that's my first look and a little ride experience of the rocker plates, the latest revolution happening in Zwift. Go check out some of the links to other forums and videos in the description below. If you enjoy watching this video, hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more cycling videos coming soon. And as ever, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.